Video we will study the first exercise of calculus, that is continuity and differentiability. Now what is continuity? Suppose f is a real function on a subset of a real numbers and let c be a point in the domain of f, then f is continuous at c if limit extends to c, fx is equal to fc. Elaborately, if the left hand limit, right hand limit and the value of the function at x equal to c exists and equal to each other, then f is said to be continuous at c. Suppose there is a function fx and we have to check its continuity at c, and suppose here I am taking the point c and here x is equal to c and we have to check the continuity of fx at c. Now first of all we will find out the value of the function at c, and suppose this is equal to k, and after that we will find out the value of this function f at a point x on the right hand side of c, that is c plus h, where this h is instantly very small, or you can say the h is trending towards 0, and this value of the function at c plus h comes to be k again. After that we will check the value of the function at the point c minus h, that is on the left hand side of the c, where here also h, if h tends to 0, or you can see h is very small, then and the value of fc minus h is also equal to k, then we can say that fc minus h is equal to fc plus h, and that is equal to fc here. All the values are equal to k, or in another language we can write that on the left side of the c, that means on the left hand limit, we can say that x equal to c, the left hand limit is equal to, now this c plus h was on the right hand side of the c, is equal to the right hand limit, and that is equal to value of the function at point c are all equal, then we can say that fx is continuous at x equal to c, and if these values, any of these values are not equal, then we will say that the function is discontinuous at x equal to c. Now in case of a closed interval, if a real function f, you can say a real function f is said to be continuous if it is continuous at every point in the domain of f. Elaborately, we can say that suppose f is a function defined on a closed interval a to b, then for f to be continuous, it needs to be continuous at every point in a b, in closed interval a b, including on the endpoints a and b. Now in the case of interval, we will check the continuity of the function at all points in that interval, including the endpoints, and if it is continuous in all at every point, then we will say that the f is continuous. Now for any two functions f and g, suppose f and g are two real functions which are continuous at the real number c, then the sum of the difference, the product and the ratio of the function is always continuous at x equal to c. Now in case of the ratio, now this f upon g function will be continuous, but this gc should not be equal to 0. Now we will solve few questions of exercise 5.1. Now in question number first, prove that the function fx equal to 5x minus 3 is continuous at x equal to 0, at x equal to minus 3 and at x equal to 5. So here we have to check the continuity of the function f at x equal to 0, x equal to minus 3 and x equal to 5 separately. Now I am doing the question number 2, where it is we have to examine the continuity of a function fx equal to 2x square minus 1 at x equal to 3. Now here function fx is given to us as 2x square minus 1. Now we have to check its continuity at x equal to 3. Now first of all we will find out the value of the function at 3. f3 will be 2 into 3 square minus 1. In place of x we will take 3 and that is equal to 17. Now after checking the value of the function at the point, we will take the limit of the function. The limit x tends to 3 fx will be equal to limit x tends to 3. Now fx was 2x square minus 1 and that will be equal to 2 into, now in place of x here we will put 3 square minus 1 and that will be 2 into 9 minus 1 and that will be again 17. Now as limit x tends to 3 is equal fx is equal to f3, thus we can say f is continuous at x equal to 3. And question number 3, we have to examine the following functions for continuity. So I am doing this C part of it, that is the function fx is equal to x square minus 25 upon x plus 5, where x is not equal to 5. Here the function fx is given to us. Now x square minus 25 can be taken as x plus 5, x minus 5, and so the function will reduce to x minus 5. Now first of all, point at which we have to test its continuity is not given to us, so we will take any point C of a point C which lies on a real line. Now the value of the function as at C will be fc and that will be c minus 5. Now after this we will take the limit of the function at point C. So limit x tends to C and the function was fx will be equal to limit x tends to C and the value of fx was x minus 5. Now in place of x we will put the C from the limit and this will give us the value of the limit x tends to C fx as c minus 5, as we are getting the value of the function at point C and limit x tends to C equal, so we can say the function is continuous at all points. Now in question number 4 we have to test the continuity of fx, that is equal to x raised to power n at point x equal to n, and this can be done similarly as we have done the other two questions. Now here in question number 6 onwards we have to find the points of discontinuity of f, where f is defined by, now I am doing 7th part of it, where function fx is equal to mod x plus 3 if x is less than equal to minus 3, minus 2x if x is greater than minus 3 and less than 3, and 6x plus 2 if x is greater than equal to 3. Now function fx was given to us. Now here for the if x is less than 0, then this value of mod x will be minus, then mod x will be negative, and if x is greater than 0 then mod x will be positive. Now here, as we see that x is less than equal to minus 3 and that is less than 0, so we will take this mod x as negative. So this can be written as minus x plus 3 if x is less than equal to minus 3. Now here we have to check its continuity, so we will check the continuity for the point less than minus 3, at minus 3, between minus 3 and 3, at point 3 and greater than 3. Now we will take C any point on a real line. Now case first. First of all, we check the continuity for the point less than minus 3. So if C is less than minus 3, then the value of the function fc, now c is less than minus 3, for that we will take the function minus x plus 3. The value of the function will be minus c plus 3. Now limit of x tends to c, fx will be equal to limit x tends to c. Now fx for values less than minus 3 was minus x plus 3 to minus x plus 3, and that will be minus c plus 3. Now as, or you can say here, limit x tends to c fx is equal to fc. So we can say, therefore f is continuous at all points x such that x is less than minus 3. Now after checking for the points less than minus 3, we will check its continuity at minus 3. So second case will be if c is equal to minus 3. Now then value of the function, that is fc, will be equal to f minus 3, and that will be equal to now f minus 3. As we see here that x is less than equal to minus 3, then the value of the function is minus x plus 3, and here you can say for x equal to minus 3, the function will be minus x plus 3. So this will be minus x. In place of x, we will take this minus 3, minus x plus 3, and that will be 3 plus 3 equal to 6. Now as here there are separate functions for the point less than minus 3 and for greater than minus 3. So here we will take left hand and right hand limit of the function at x equal to minus 3. So first of all I am taking the left hand limit. Now left hand limit at x equal to minus 3 will be limit x tends to minus 3 minus on the left of minus 3. Now that will be limit h tends to 0 f minus 3 minus h, and this will be now less than minus 3. For less than minus 3, the function was minus x plus 3. So this will be minus x plus 3. That will be limit h tends to 0. Now minus x plus 3. That means minus x. In place of x, we will take this value minus 3 minus h and plus 3. This will be, on putting the value of h as 0, this will give us minus 3 minus 0 plus 3, and that will be equal to 6. Now right hand limit at x equal to minus 3. Now limit x tends to greater than minus 3, that is minus 3 plus fx will be equal to limit h tends to 0 f minus 3 plus h, and that will be limit h tends to 0 f minus 3 plus h, or you can say x is greater than minus 3. Now for the values greater than minus 3, the function is minus 2x, so we will take the function as minus 2x. So this will be minus 2x and x was minus 3 plus h. On putting the value of h as 0, we will get the value of the function. Now as we see here, the left hand limit at x equal to minus 3 was equal to right hand limit at x equal to minus 3, and that was equal to the value of the function at minus 3, that is f minus 3. All values are equal to 6. So we can say that limit x tends to minus 3 fx is equal to f minus 3. Therefore the function f is continuous at x equal to minus 3. Now in next step, after checking the function is continuous at x equal to minus 3, we will check that the function is continuous between at points between minus 3 to 3. On case third, if the c lies between minus 3 and 3, then fc. Now for the real values between minus 3 and 3, the value of the function is minus 2x. The fc will be minus 2c. Now limit at x tends to c, fx will be equal to limit x tends to c minus 2x for minus 3, for c between minus 3 to 3. Now the function was minus 2x, and on putting the value of x, we will get the value of the limit as minus 2c. As we see here, that limit x tends to c, fx is equal to fc. So we can say that the function is continuous at all points x, such that x is from minus 3, between minus 3 and 3. Now after checking the continuity from the points minus 3 to 3, we will check the continuity at x equal to 3. Now here also, now the value of the function is minus 2x for less than 3 and 6x plus 2 for x greater than 3. So we will take the left hand and right hand limit and check whether those are equal or not. So case 4th is if c is equal to 3, then the value of the function at 3 will be f3, and that will be, now value of the function at 3 is 6x plus 2, so we will take this as 6x and x was 3 here, so this will be 6 into 3 plus 2, and this will be 18 plus 2, that is 20. Now left hand limit at x equal to 3 will be limit x tends to 3 or minus, or you can say less than 3 fx, and that will be limit h tends to 0 f3 minus h. Now for 3 minus h, or you can say 3 minus h means less than 3. Less than 3, the value of function is minus 2x. So we will take the function minus 2x. So that will be limit h tends to 0 minus 2, and in place of x we will write down 3 minus h. Now putting the value of h as 0, we are getting the value of left hand limit as minus 6. Now right hand limit will be limit x tends to 3 plus fx, and that will be limit h tends to 0 f3 plus h. Now greater than 3 plus means greater than 3, and for greater than 3 the value of the function is 6x plus 2. So we will take the function as 6x, x was 3 plus h plus 2, and on putting the value of h as 0, we are getting the value of the function as 20. Now as we see here, the left hand limit and right hand limits are not equal at x equal to 3. So there so the function f is not continuous at x equal to 3. Now in last step we will check whether the function fx is continuous at x greater than 3. Now for if c, case 50 is if c is greater than 3, then fc will be, now for greater than 3 the value of the function is 6x plus 2, that will be 6c plus 2. Now limit x tends to c, fx and c is greater than 3, so we will take limit x tends to c and function as 6x plus 2. On putting the value of x as c, we are getting the value of the limit as 6c plus 2, as the limit of a function is equal to the value of the function at point c, where c is greater than 3. So we can say that the function is continuous at all points x such that x is greater than 3. Thus, from the above observation, we have observed that f is not continuous or discontinuous at x equal to 3 only. Thus, we can say that x equal to 3 is the only point of discontinuity. And question number 9, the function is given to us. Now here, for x is less than 0, the value of the function is x upon mod x. For less than 0, mod x will be negative, so it can be written as x upon minus x, and that will be equal to minus 1 for x is less than 0. And it is minus 1 for x is greater than or equal to 0. That means the value of the function at all integral points is equal to minus 1. On the number 9 is always equal to minus 1. So we will take a point C on a real number line and find out the limit at C and value of the function at C, and both are same as minus 1. So we can say that this function is continuous or does not have any point of discontinuity. Question number 14th to 16th are same as question number 7th. Now come to question number 17th. We have to find the relationship between a and b so that the function f defined by fx equal to ax plus 1 if x is less than or equal to 3 and bx plus 3 if x is greater than 3 is continuous at x equal to 3. Now the function f is continuous at x equal to 3. So left hand limit, right hand limit, and the value of the function at x equal to 3 will be the same. Now at x equal to 3, first of all we will find out the left hand limit. Now this will be limit x tends to 3 minus, that means on the left of 3, fx equal to limit h tends to 0 f3 minus h. Now less than 3, for less than 3 the value of fx is ax plus 1, so it will be ax, in place of x we will put the value of 3 minus h plus 1. Now on taking h equal to 0, we are getting the left hand limit as 3a plus 1. Now in second step we will find out the right hand limit at x equal to 3. Now right hand limit, the limit x tends to 3 plus fx will be equal to limit h tends to 0 f3 plus h. Now as we know, for greater than 3 the value of the function is bx plus 3. So it will be limit h tends to 0. In place of fx we will write bx, and x was 3 plus h plus 3. On putting h equal to 0, we are getting the value of right hand limit as 3b plus 3. Now value of the function at 3, that is f3. Now here in the question, when x is equal to 3, then the value of the function is ax plus 1. So f3 will be ax, x is 3 here, plus 1, that is 3a plus 1. Now it is given to us that f is continuous at x equal to 3. That means the left hand limit will be equal to the right hand limit, and that will be equal to the value of the function at 3. Now left hand limit was 3a plus 1, right hand limit was 3b plus 3, and again the value of the function was 3a plus 1. These two values are same, so we can take any one of the value. Now 3a plus 1 will be equal to 3b plus 3. Now on solving this, we are getting 3a equal to 3b plus 2. On dividing both sides by 3, this will be a equal to b plus 2 by 3. This is the relationship between a and b. In question number 18, for what value of lambda is the function defined by fx equal to lambda x square minus 2x if x is less than or equal to 0, and 4x plus 1 if x is greater than 0, is continuous at x equal to 0? What about continuity at x equal to 1? Now first of all, we will check its continuity at x equal to 0. Now at x equal to 0, first I am taking here left hand limit. Now left hand limit x tends to 0 minus fx will be limit h tends to 0 f0 minus h, and 0 minus h can be written as minus h. Now for less than 0, that is 0 minus, for less than 0, the value of fx is lambda into x square minus 2x. In place of x, we will take minus h, and this is giving us lambda into h square plus 2h. Now this will be, on putting the value of h as 0, we are getting the value of the left hand limit of the function at x equal to 0 as 0. Now right hand limit x tends to 0 plus fx equal to limit, now at x equal to 0, to h tends to 0 f0 plus h. F0 plus h can be written as fh, and 0 plus means greater than 0. So greater than 0, the value of function is 4x plus 1. So here we will take the function 4x plus 1, and in place of x we will take h, and this is giving us the value as 1 after putting the value of h as 0. Now as we see here, the left hand limit was 0 and the right hand limit was 1. So the left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit as x equal to 0. Therefore, we can say that there is no value of lambda for which f is continuous function at x equal to 0. Now in second part, we have to check the continuity at x equal to 1. At x equal to 1, the value of function is, that means f1 will be equal to 4 into 1 plus 1, as for x equal to 1, one is greater than 0. That means we have to take the value of function as 4x plus 1. So we are finding f1, so in place of x we will take 1. So that will give us the value of the function as 5. Now limit at x equal to 1, again 1 is greater than 0, so we will take 4x plus 1, value of the function as 4x plus 1, and on taking x equal to 1, we are getting the value of the limit of the function at x equal to 1 as 5. Now as we see here, the limit of the function is equal to the value of the function at 1. So we can say that the function is continuous at x equal to 1 for all the values, for any value of lambda. In question number 26, we have to find the value of k if the function f is continuous at x equal to pi by 2. So we will find out the left hand limit and right hand limits at pi by 2, and those two will be equal. Now at x equal to pi by 2, the left hand limit will be limit x tends to pi by 2 minus fx. Now this can be written as limit h tends to 0 f pi by 2 minus h. Now here this x is not equal to pi by 2, and for that the value of the function was k cos x upon pi minus 2x. So we'll take the value of the function as k cos pi by 2 minus h upon pi minus 2x, and in place of x there is pi by 2 minus h. Now this will be, as we know, that cos pi by 2 minus theta equal to sin theta. So cos pi by 2 minus h can be written as sin h. Now pi minus 2 into pi by 2 will be minus pi, and minus 2 into minus h will be plus 2h. Here we are getting it as limit h tends to 0 k sin h upon 2h, as k and 2 are constant, so we can take them outside to get k upon 2 limit h tends to 0 sin h upon h. Now as we know that limit x tends to 0 sin x upon x is equal to 1, so limit h tends to 0 sin h upon h can be written as 1, and k by 2 into 1 will give us k by 2. Now this is our left hand limit. Now value of the function at pi by 2 is equal to 3, as it is given in a question that if x equal to pi by 2 then fx is equal to 3. Now as we know that f is a continuous function at x equal to pi by 2, so its left hand limit, right hand limit and value of the function will be same at pi by 2. Here I am not taking the right hand limit, so we can take two left hand limit and right hand value of the function to get the desired result. Now here the left hand limit will be equal to the right hand limit at pi by 2, because the function is continuous at x equal to pi by 2. That means this k by 2 will be equal to 3, and that will give us the value of k as 6. 30th question, we have to find out the values of a and b if the function f is a continuous function. Now here the value less than equal to 2 is given to us, and the value of the function for greater than 2 is given to us. So we will find out the left hand and right hand limits at x equal to 2. Now at x equal to 2, the value of the function will be equal to 5. Now right hand limit at x equal to 2 will be limit x tends to 2 plus fx, and that can be written as limit h tends to 0 f2 plus h. Now as we know that here we are taking the right hand limit at x equal to 2, or you can say this 2 plus will be greater than 2, so we will take the value of the function as ax plus b, and in place of x we will take 2 plus h, and on putting the limit or on taking the value of h as 0, we are getting the value right hand limit at x equal to 2 as 2a plus b. As we know the function is continuous, so we can say that the right hand limit will be the value of the function at x equal to 2, and that is giving us 2a plus b equal to 5, and this is our first equation. Now here the value less than 2 is given to us, that means we have to find left hand limit. Value less than 10 is given to us, that means we can find the left hand limit, and value equal to or greater than 10 is given to us, so we will find out the left hand limit at x equal to 10 and the value of the function at x equal to 10. And being a continuous function, the left hand limit at x equal to 10 will be equal to the value of the function. So at x equal to 10, the value of the function will be equal to 21 as given in the question. Now left hand limit. Now limit x tends to 10 minus fx can be written as limit h tends to 0 f10 minus h, and here 10 minus h means less than 10, and for less than 10 the value of fx is ax plus b, so that will be limit h tends to 0 ax, in place of x we will take 10 minus h plus b, and on putting the value of h as 0 we are getting the equation as 10a plus b. Now as we know that fx is continuous function, so this left hand limit will be equal to the value of function, that means 10a plus b will be equal to 21. Now this is our second equation. Now we have got two equations. Now we can solve these two equations by elimination, substitution, method or substitution method to get the values of a and b, and here the value of a is coming as b as 2 and value of b is 1. Now from question number 31 to 34, now we will directly solve this. Now here function fx is given to us as cos x square, and we have to show that it is a continuous function. Here the function fx equal to cos x square is given to us, so we can take two functions. First, gx is cos x and hx is x square. As we know that a cosine function and a polynomial function is always continuous, so we can say that gx is a cosine function and hx is a polynomial function. Now the cosine function and polynomial function are always continuous at all points, so we can say that gx and hx is you can say are continuous. So if gx and hx are continuous, then g of hx will be continuous. Now g of hx will be g of x square, and that will be continuous. Now g of x square will give us cos x square, and cos x square was our function fx. So we can say that fx is a continuous function. Now you should keep in mind that the polynomial functions, modulus functions, exponential functions, the function of sine and cosine functions are continuous at all points. Now in question number 32, we have to prove that fx, that is mod of cos x, is a continuous function. Now here we will proceed as we have done in previous question. We will take the gx as cos x and hx as mod x. Now as we know that cosine function and modulus function is always continuous, so we can say that gx and hx are continuous. And if gx and hx are continuous, then h of gx will be continuous, and that will be equal to fx. Last question of the exercise. Now here fx is equal to mod x minus mod x plus 1. So we can take gx as function gx as mod x and hx as mod x plus 1. As we know that the modulus functions are always continuous, so gx minus hx will be continuous, or you can say fx will be continuous.